FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Now, subsidies are not always bad things. For example, I quote one of Ronald Reagan's economic advisors, Martin Feldstein, is pointing out that a subsidy for vaccines that mean that people don't get infectious diseases spread to other people or don't get certain kinds of illnesses, those are probably a good thing. Educating children, that's a subsidy to those children. When I was a child, people paid taxes for me to go to school here in California. I now pay taxes for other people to go to school. That subsidy is a good thing unless you want to live in a society of uneducated morons. But subsidies that do not add to the economy but detract from it are a totally different story. Subsidies to retail cannot add to the economy overall. All they can do is concentrate benefits in one location. One of the first chapters in my book is about the fabulously successful golf courses in Bandon Dunes, Oregon. Zagat says that 2 of the 3 best golf courses in America are located there. Those golf courses were built by a man who's a libertarian, who used his own money. He didn't go looking for a government subsidy for his golf courses. But lo and behold, he gets one. And by his calculation, the subsidy is equal to the entire payroll of his full-time staff, their salaries, their fringe benefits, and all the tips they get from the golfers. By my calculation, it's about twice that much. But in any event, there's no fundamental economic gain from this subsidy. The subsidy works this way. For years, the airport at Coos Bay, Oregon, North Bend, had 3 corporate jets a year come, year after year after year. It now gets 5,000 corporate jets a year. And after the taxpayers have spent $31 million building facilities to benefit the users of these corporate jets, they're expecting 7,000 a year, and there are plans underway to build a lot more golf courses, so the number may get much bigger than that. Well, under a law that Congress passed in 1985, a law promoted as middle-class tax relief for those people who have a company car that they use both for business and for private usage. There's a provision. It's actually not a provision in the law. It was attached to the law as an instruction to the IRS. You know, just as President Bush has all those signing statements, Congress has something like that too, instructions on how to interpret the law we passed. It was a provision telling the IRS how to value the personal use of corporate jets by CEOs and other senior executives. Well, that is such a lucrative subsidy that a trip that would cost the company $200,000, and by the way, you, dear taxpayer, would pick up $70,000 that cost at the 35% federal tax rate because it's a tax-deductible cost. The executive would pay about $1,000. He'd pay it in the form of higher taxes. So you'll lose $70,000 as a taxpayer and get back $1,000. And then as a shareholder, remember, that's where your money's invested in your retirement plan is with these big companies, you spend $70,000. When you read a little story in the newspaper that this or that executive got a fringe benefit for using the company jet of $40,000 or $50,000, that's how Congress computes it. Figure the real cost is on the order of 30 times whatever the number that you read is, and that doesn't include something called positioning flights that I explain in the book can make the figure 2 or 3 times as high. Well, what are we doing at Bandon Dunes? We are helping the wealthiest people in America pay less money to go golfing. It creates some jobs and benefits Bandon Dunes, but it impoverishes the whole country. And Mike Kaiser, the businessman who built Bandon Dunes, wasn't seeking a subsidy, didn't go to government and ask for help, but he's aware of the subsidy. When I asked him about it, he said, well, you know, that's up to Congress. If Congress thinks this is too generous, they can change it.